Pope Leo is an American dude from Chicago, which first of all makes it easier to talk to him because he speaks a normal language. And also it makes it more likely he will be an ally.
Ally of whom?
Donald Trump. Who else, dude?
It's not the Middle Ages, Mr. Vice President. I don't think the Pope is supposed to make personal alliances with world leaders.
Okay, I'm getting tired of all these rules that people are always coming to me with. That's illegal. This would be unprecedented. That violates the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. What a bunch of goody two-shoes, man.
Hey, this is Jimmy. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, dude? This is JD Vance.
Hey, Mr. Vice President. What a pleasure to hear from you.
Boom.
What? Boom?
Yeah, boom. I'm trying to make that my new thing, you know? Like, hey, what's up? This is JD Vance. Boom. Like my trademark, you know?
I like it.
Thank you. I thought you might, because when I call you, I always sound like a huge redneck for some reason. Like, I don't even sound like this in real life. I don't know. Your show just brings it out in me, I guess. So doing boom kind of fits in with that.
Well, I think it suits you fine.
Hell yeah, dude, boom.
So what's on your mind, Mr. Vice President?
Oh, man, so much. One thing about me is that I'm always thinking. And, you know, I've always been like that. I remember when I was a kid, my grandma would come out in the yard and say, JD, what are you doing? And I'd say, I'm just thinking, Grandma. And everybody would know, like, okay, JD's thinking again. This could be a while. Dinner might be late. My wife, Usha, says I should start a podcast.
Yeah, it sounds like you're a very contemplative person.
I don't know what that means, but hell yeah, boom.
So what are you currently thinking about? That's my question.
Well, one thing is the Pope. There's a new Pope now.
Yeah, I know.
And he's American, which is good. I looked it up. Did you know there have been 266 different popes? Like, Jesus Christ, settle down. Hang on to one of them for a while. 266 separate dudes since whoever the first pope was.
St. Peter. That was the first pope, St. Peter.
No, that does not sound right.
Trust me, I'm right.
Look, I know I'm a recent convert, but I'm pretty sure St. Peter is the dude who lets people into heaven. How could he also be the Pope from up there? No offense, but you're sounding pretty dumb right now.
Okay.
My guess is the first Pope was a guy whose last name was Pope, so that's why that job is called Pope.
Okay, sure. Moving on.
Anyway, yeah, Pope Leo, which isn't his real name. He gets a separate Pope name. Okay, John Cougar Mellencamp. Pope Leo is an American dude from Chicago, which first of all makes it easier to talk to him because he speaks a normal language. And also it makes it more likely he will be an ally.
Ally of whom?
Donald Trump. Who else, dude?
It's not the Middle Ages, Mr. Vice President. I don't think the Pope is supposed to make personal alliances with world leaders.
Okay, I'm getting tired of all these rules that people are always coming to me with. That's illegal. This would be unprecedented. That violates the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. What a bunch of goody two-shoes, man. And you're not even the first person to say that very thing to me about the Pope.
Well, who was the other one?
The Pope, when I personally met with him recently. But I don't necessarily think he's the expert on this.
The Pope isn't an expert on papal matters?
Well, the Pope isn't an expert on what Donald Trump is or isn't allowed to do. Look, Mr. Trump demands complete personal loyalty. He's made no secret about that. And he wants that same loyalty from the Pope of the Church. I don't see what the problem is here.
All right, okay.
Because we're going to need the Pope and his enormous influence to help push President Trump's overseas agenda. Also, we want to keep an eye on him so he doesn't get too woke. You know, the previous Pope was kind of woke. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Woke how?
Well, he was always like, be kind to immigrants and refugees. That bleeding heart bullshit that leftists are always doing.
That's just kind of boilerplate Catholic messaging. That's really the kind of thing the Pope should be saying, actually.
Okay, maybe in your version of Christianity, but some of us like a version of Jesus that isn't a huge pussy.
Oh, Jesus.
A Jesus that recognizes sovereign borders and doesn't get handies in a twist when ICE goes and fucks up a whole ass family, like Jesus with some balls. And we need a Pope who gets behind that.
I don't really see a Pope or anyone who calls themselves a Christian getting behind that. What if the Pope doesn't go along with your new muscular brand of Christianity?
Well, I think the obvious recourse would be to put some tariffs on Vatican City. That's its own country, which means we can tariff it.
Tariff on what? What do they make? Are they even a trading partner of the U.S.?
I don't know, like St. Peter's Basilica T-shirts and shit. They got to make something. Point is, we're not afraid to make them feel pain if the Pope gets a little too popey.
Well, it sounds like you've thought long and hard about this, like you've said before.
I know, dude. My head hurts from all this thinking. What are you thinking about, Jimmy?
You don't want to know, Mr. Vice President.
Oh, man, I bet it's something fancy. Well, I'll let you get back to thinking and doing your show. Can you do both at the same time? You probably can. You're a pro. I made a note here to make my next thing I think about my personal brand. That's so important these days, your personal brand. And speaking of that, boom. Talk to you later. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom. Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, London, Liverpool, Birmingham. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.